Here's a quick guide on how to be unhappy for the rest of your life. Step 1. Wake up whenever. Don't wake up at a reasonable time. Make sure to wake up after everyone else has already got a head start on the day. You really want to ensure you've missed any chance of starting the day right. Upon getting out of bed, don't bother making your bed or taking a shower. Just wear the same clothes you put on yesterday. It's important to start the day with very little self-respect, feeling as sloppy as possible. Aristotle taught us that virtue is acquired through the practice of good habits. He said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." By ignoring simple habits like waking up early and taking care of yourself, you are ensuring that mediocrity becomes an ingrained habit within you. Step 2. Turn your home into a disaster. Make sure your home is always a complete disaster. The mess will help subconsciously reinforce the idea that you're a disorganized person whose life is entirely out of order. This is an extremely important belief to have when you're trying to remain an unhappy person. Nietzsche believed that order can arise from chaos, but by leaving your house a mess, you are embracing the negative side of this theory. He said that we need to embrace chaos to create something new. However, by living in disorder, you are merely reinforcing the idea that your life is out of control. You are basically telling the universe that disorder is your natural state, which is perfect if your goal is to feel constantly overwhelmed and stagnant. Step 3. Procrastinate. Socrates spoke about akrasia, which is the state of acting against your better judgment. It's knowing you need to do something but not doing it anyway. Imagine knowing you need to study for an exam, but instead deciding to binge-watch Netflix. That's akrasia in action. By constantly delaying your responsibilities, you are committing yourself to an endless cycle of frustration and guilt. Socrates believed that true wisdom comes from action, not just knowledge. But who is Socrates to tell you what to do? Procrastination is an excellent strategy to ensure that you never achieve anything significant. When the thought of doing something productive occurs to you, like cleaning your filthy kitchen, simply ignore that feeling. After all, you've just woken up, and there will be time later to do it. Get into the habit of delegating all the problems in your life to a future version of yourself, who will supposedly have much more motivation and energy than you have now. Step 4. Look busy. After gathering the courage and deciding to start acting, sit at the computer and open a Word document to make you feel productive. Give your document a fancy title, then immediately open Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok just to check if you've missed anything. See, it doesn't really matter what you do. As long as you're sitting at your desk and that Word document is open, it will help deceive your conscience into thinking you're working, but you won't be progressing in life, which is your goal. Jean-Paul Sartre discussed the concept of bad faith, where people lie to themselves to avoid uncomfortable truths. He believed that we often deceive ourselves to avoid taking responsibility for our actions and choices. Pretending to be busy without making real progress is a perfect example of alienation and bad faith. By keeping yourself occupied with useless tasks and lying to yourself that you are doing something productive, you are ensuring that your real life goes unnoticed, without any true accomplishment. It is a brilliant way to guarantee unhappiness. Step 5. Wait for opportunities. Sartre also emphasized the importance of creating your own meaning and taking actions to give life a purpose. He said, "Man is condemned to be free, because once thrown into the world, he is responsible for everything he does." By passively waiting for opportunities, you are renouncing your freedom and responsibility. Pay attention here because this part is important. Never be proactive in seeking new opportunities to grow your career or meet new people and have new experiences. Wait for all that to knock on your door. After all, if it's meant to happen, it will happen someday. Someday you'll meet the person of your dreams, and things will kind of work out. Probably, you'll also land your dream job if you wait long enough. Anyway, the important thing is not to take any action. Don't try to figure out the most effective way to get what you want. Just wait until things sort themselves out. Step 6. Always say no. Ayn Rand spoke about rational self-interest, which means pursuing your own needs without ignoring the social impact. Rand believed in the importance of acting according to your own rational self-interests. Saying no to all growth opportunities simply because you are afraid of what might happen or because you are lazy is a perfect distortion of this concept and will help you achieve a mediocre life. In the 6th step, default to saying no. When a friend asks you to go out and talk, just say no. After all, you're super busy these days and have so much work to do. When your boss gives you the opportunity to lead a meeting at work, try to find an excuse to get out of it. The key here is to give everyone the impression that they should let you do things your way. Be so good at saying no that people stop asking you to do anything. Step 7. Always be suspicious. Thomas Hobbes, in his work Leviathan, described human nature as inherently competitive and distrustful. He said that in the state of nature, human life is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. Hobbes believed that distrust is an essential characteristic for survival. Embrace this concept 100% as truth. Be suspicious of people. Never give people the benefit of the doubt. Believe that everyone basically just wants to take advantage of you, and because of this, you must be cautious and erect barriers to protect yourself emotionally. Assume that the smiles people give you are fake, and that their intentions are the worst possible. This armor of distrust will help you not have a personal relationship with anyone, being an important part of your goal. Step 8. Focus on the uncontrollable. The Stoics, like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, have been trying for over 2,000 years to teach us to focus on what we can control and calmly accept what we cannot. They would say, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. But let's be honest, Stoicism has become trendy, right? So, let's concentrate on things we can't control. This way, we ensure that we feel constantly frustrated and powerless. This is ideal for those who want to feel like victims of fate. Focus on things you can't control. As often as possible, get furious about traffic, the government, the pandemic. You really want to reinforce the idea that the world is all messed up and that there's nothing you can do about it. Focus on the shortcomings of others, the failures of your country, and the situation of the economy. This will really help you feel powerless. And if you're trying to be miserable, that's perfect. Step 9. Do only what's comfortable. Let your comfort zone be the authority on what you do and don't do. If it's not comfortable, simply don't do it. Avoid discomfort at all costs and only engage in activities that are familiar and effortless. Don't bother acquiring new perspectives or innovative experiences. Stay in your lane. This might make you a non-entity, exactly what you want. Martin Heidegger spoke about the need to step out of your comfort zone to achieve an authentic existence. He said that living authentically involves facing our fears and challenges. By avoiding any discomfort, you guarantee that you will never experience growth or fulfillment. Step 10. Daydream. Plato spoke about the importance of facing reality instead of living in dreams. He believed that the pursuit of truth and reality is essential for a meaningful life. But living in reality causes discomfort, and living in dreams feels so good, doesn't it? So, the advice here is simple. See life not as it is, but as you wish it to be. Dream of a day when things are better. Fantasize about a life where all your problems disappear. You want to make sure you escape mentally as much as possible to distract yourself from the obstacles in front of you. Reflect daily on what you would buy if you won the lottery or became a celebrity. Constantly compare your life to that person on Instagram and feel resentful about that comparison. Dedicate your mental energy not to solving your problems or improving yourself, but to building this fantasy as detailed as possible. And speaking of life improvement, continue engaging in activities that make you feel inferior and weak. Never prove to yourself that you can overcome obstacles or improve. Never try to cut down on your vices or change your lifestyle for something better. Continue smoking like a chimney or drinking like a turbocharged 2.0. Keep in mind the idea that people can't change, and therefore, you shouldn't even try. Beyond the 10 steps to a mediocre life, it's extremely important that you don't like this video. Don't follow the White Rabbit here on YouTube, and above all, don't watch any other videos from this channel. After all, only those seeking a healthier, more productive, and more meaningful life do that, which isn't the case, right? If you've made it this far, congratulations! You're a true student of the habits that lead to unhappiness. But I need to make one last reflection here. What would happen if we opted for a different direction? Instead of embracing negativity, chaos, and inertia, Imagine if we committed to cultivating a growth mindset, seeking new experiences that enrich us and challenge our limits. Instead of living a life of acceptance, we could opt for a life with more purpose, defined goals, and accomplishments. Be honest with yourself. How many of the 10 steps happen today in your life? Does it make sense to stay this way? Remember, the choice to change is entirely yours, and it's never too late to take a step towards a meaningful life, away from the path to mediocrity. Let's take inspiration from some of the philosophers we've mentioned. Aristotle taught us that excellence is a habit. Nietzsche reminded us that we can create order from chaos. Socrates valued action above mere knowledge. Sartre challenged us to take responsibility for our lives, while the Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius taught us to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. To me, this is the foundation for a happier life, and one that progresses towards reaching its maximum potential. Although it's painful and uncomfortable at first, if you face it head-on and deal with it, you'll start to become stronger and more capable of handling your habits in the future. Out of nowhere, you start to become someone who feels okay with discomfort, your confidence, your productivity, and basically, your entire life improves. No one can avoid pain in everyday life. Pain is just something we all have to deal with, but fortunately, we can choose which pain we face. The pain of waking up and entering this loop of bad habits and not seeing your life progress, or the pain of getting up, acting even with discomfort, and knowing you will be rewarded. I would say the 11th step to a miserable life is simply to go to sleep, and repeat the previous 10 steps again. So, what will you do? If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.